Hi everyone, thanks for joining. My name is Jasmine. I'm from Helping Minds Online. I am a registered practicing provisional psychologist, and my channel is all about psychoanalyzing and providing social commentary on topical events, or I like to psychoanalyze celebrities. I basically integrate psychological concepts into relevant topic to give you a fresh spin, as well as broaden your opinion, but also I do try to explain everything in a way that is easy to understand and therefore easy for you to apply to your own life so you can better your life through watching these videos. Having this knowledge can empower you to change your life for the better. So if you want to be entertained as well as find out interesting psychological concepts and topics, tips and tricks that you can apply to your own life, then hit subscribe. I also offer online support. It's anonymous, it's affordable, and the link is in the bio if you'd like to make a booking. And please check out my Instagram at Helping Minds Online for daily tips on a better you. Now let's get into it. So today we are going to talk about the recent celebrity pregnancy announcement of Rihanna. Yes, it is pronounced Rihanna, apparently, and we have all been pronouncing it incorrectly as Rihanna. Rihanna has just confirmed her pregnancy to, honestly, I don't know how to pronounce his name, so please correct me, guys, but let's just call him ASAP Rocky. For those of you who don't know, which I'm guessing is very few, she's a 34-year-old singer from Barbados. She released a few songs, but she really hit it big with Umbrella. And I am very proud to announce that I was a huge fan of Rihanna well before Umbrella, and Pon de Replay is still my favorite song of hers. But since then, she's gone on to become the highest selling artist of all time. One of. So let me put this into perspective for you. Many of us do not realize, but she's actually sold more records than Beyonce, like way more, like double the amount, and more than Eminem, Mariah Carey, and Taylor Swift, and even Celine Dion too. Since becoming a singer, she's also gone on to act, and she's done very well here too. She started off as in a small role in Battleship, but you can really see her find her feet. She's really found like a great acting ability, as evidenced in her latest movie, Ocean's 8. Which was a box office success, which just shows females in films sells. So hopefully we'll see more of that. But despite all of this success, Rihanna was still going to outdo all of this with her recent accolades achieved in business and as a fashion designer. So how she, she's basically positioned herself as the first Black woman to be in charge of a major luxury fashion house. And she is ranked 16 in the list of the richest self-made women, just 4 spots behind Oprah Winfrey. So she has become the richest female musician alive, and believe it or not, it wasn't from performing. To enumerate her wealth, most can be attributed to the $1.7 billion value to Fenty Beauty, with the remainder lying in the ownership of her lingerie, Savage Fenty, which is an estimated $270 million. And the rest can be attributed to her musical and acting career. She launched her beauty brand off the back of her IG account, where she has over 100 million followers. And apparently her beauty brand is more successful than Kylie Jenner's in terms of sales and volume, making her the most successful celebrity/beauty entrepreneur. I personally love the Fenty lingerie range, and I can see how Rihanna has completely revolutionized the catwalk. She's single-handedly changed the game. She's changed how we see the traditional catwalk show, what the typical models will look like, and what we define as beautiful. So when I watch the show, I honestly think the plus size models are the most beautiful, but we would never have seen that, like, if Rihanna didn't make it apparent to us and make that change and show us what is beautiful, because all we have ever seen is the traditional supermodels, and we associate that with beauty, which is obviously not great for our self-esteem, not great for our self-worth, and how we evaluate other women and their beauty as well. Okay, so Rihanna, this woman is success. Not bad for a woman who didn't get to finish high school. And the reason I want to highlight how successful she is because I want to also bring to your attention, did you know that Rihanna came from a childhood of trauma? She survived a toxic upbringing filled with abuse. Rihanna actually had crippling headaches throughout her childhood, to the point that doctors thought she had a brain tumour. But what they found was that the headaches completely dissipated after her parents separated. And they soon realized that the headaches were actually due to the stress of her parents' troubled marriage. Rihanna has shared her thoughts on this experience, saying that she never expressed how she felt. I always kept it in. I would go to school. You would never know that there was something wrong with me. Sometimes when we experience severe constant trauma and volatile environments, we keep a facade. It's really important for us all to be aware of this, that we actually can keep a facade or keep a poker face, but the turmoil is all still within. A psychology study has found that when a person suppresses their emotions, so if something or someone in your life has upset you, but you keep that poker face, or worse, you keep on smiling, this all actually may be worse for your mental health. The reason is that suppression of emotions actually leads to a more sympathetic nervous system activity, such as increased heart rate or sweating. Plus, it interferes with the ability to engage in other tasks as well, because you've got that cognitive overload. You're working overtime to keep your feelings at bay. And that's not all. The study found that people who suppress their emotions regularly have fewer and less connected social connections than those who are able to healthily unpack their emotions. So it's really important to express emotions, otherwise it can lead to some serious health problems, because your body is going to react with inflammation, with chronic pain. It's just volatile within, through having maybe constant stomach aches, diarrhea, or in Rihanna's case, she had headaches. But you would never know by looking at the person. So Rihanna really struggled with her father, actually, reportedly. Please keep in mind, I have never met nor treated Rihanna. If I had, I would be bound by client confidentiality and would never, ever be sharing it with anyone unless under the court of law, and especially not YouTube. But Rihanna reportedly struggled with her father, ups and downs throughout their relationship, and he was apparently using crack cocaine during her childhood, and she was exposed to that as a little girl. And she saw it firsthand within her home. The volatile relationship with her parents that caused her the unbelievable stress may have changed her brain, as well as made her more vulnerable to experiencing the subsequent toxic, violent, and abusive relationship later on in her life that we all know as Chris Brown. So back to how it changed her brain though. Rihanna sounds as though she has gone through an extensive trauma as a child. There is a movement by Dr. Bessel van der Kolk stating that trauma really changes your brain to the point that many mental illnesses are simply trauma responses. I believe it also changes the way that you, like the people that you click with or connect with. So let's examine some evidence in the celebrity world. We have Britney Spears, her friendship with Paris Hilton, her friendship with Kim Kardashian with Kanye, Kim K with Pete Davidson, Kourtney K and Travis Barker. Then we have Rihanna and Katy Perry. Now, Rihanna was actually supposed to be maid of honor at Katy's wedding. They are now no longer friends, which is such a shame. Then you also have Katy Perry and Russell Brand, Mariah Carey and James Packer. So many of these people meet criteria for or have been diagnosed with various mental illnesses. But my point is that trauma changes the brain. It changes how you interact with people. It changes like the people that you click with, the people that you don't click with. I hope that you can sort of see that maybe in your own lives. And that's how I'll basically simplify the complex like psychological theory so that we can all relate to it. That's what my channel is about. I hope you can see how psychology can be fun and interesting, and that you can apply it to celebrities. Do you agree with me? Don't forget to subscribe. With Rihanna, it also ended up in, she also ended up in a domestic violence relationship. Whilst we are all so happy for her now, I really want this to be a lesson to all women that in similar situations that you can escape. There is life out there, outside of what you're experiencing, that can be better than anything that you've ever known. Know that statistically it takes a woman 7 attempts before she will properly leave a domestic violence situation. So please just don't be hard on yourself if you keep going back. It is hard. Even Rihanna went back. She said in an interview with Oprah that she felt really bad for Chris Brown and felt the need to protect him. This may have stemmed from maladaptive thinking resulting from her childhood. Many adult survivors of childhood abuse hide their victimization. They avoid disclosure that could identify the perpetrator and the abuse that could actually bring help to them as the victim. So I think it's important to remember how bad that violence was. Now I'm going to be reading the police report involving Chris Brown and Rihanna. And Rihanna is referred to as Robin, which must be her true name and not the pseudonym that she now goes by. And I just want to warn you that it does contain triggering content. And if it's something that is going to trigger you, particularly if you're experiencing domestic violence, then just turn it off. A verbal argument ensued and Brown pulled a vehicle over in an unknown street, reached over Robin F. with his right hand and opened the car door and attempted to force her out. Brown was unable to force Robin F. out of the vehicle because she was wearing a seatbelt. When he could not force her to exit, he took his right hand and shoved her head against the passenger window of the vehicle, causing an approximate 1-inch raised circular contusion. Robin F. turned to face Brown and punched her in the left eye with right hand. He then drove away in the vehicle and continued to punch her in the face with his right hand while steering the vehicle with his left hand. The assault caused Robin F.'s mouth to fill with blood and blood to splatter all over her clothing and the interior of the vehicle. Brown looked at Robin F. and stated, "I am going to beat the out of you when we get home. You wait and see." Robin picked her cellular phone and called her personal assistant, Jennifer Rosales. Rosales did not answer the telephone, but while her VM greeting was playing, Robin pretended to talk to her and stated, "I am on my way home. Make sure the cops are there when I get there." This statement was made while greeting was playing and was not captured. After Robin faked the call, Brown looked at her and stated, "You just did the stupidest thing ever. Now I really am going to kill you." Brown resumed punching Robin, and she interlocked her fingers behind her head and brought her elbows forward to protect her face. She then bent over at the waist, placing her elbows and face near her lap, and in an attempt to protect her face and head from the barrage of punches being levied by Brown. Brown continued to punch Robin F. on her left arm and hands, causing her to suffer a contusion on her left triceps that was approximately 2 inches in diameter and numerous contusions on her left hand. Robin attempted to send another text message to her other personal assistant, Melissa Ford. Brown snatched the cellular telephone out of her hand and threw it out of the window to an unknown street. Brown continued driving, and Robin observed his cellular phone in his lap. She picked up the cellular phone with her left hand, and before she could make a call, he placed her in a headlock with right hand and continued to drive the vehicle with his left hand. Brown held Robin's face close to him and bit her on her left ear. She was able to feel the vehicle swerving from right to left as Brown spread away. He stopped the vehicle in front of address, and Robin turned off the car, removed the key from ignition, and sat on it. Brown did not know what she did with the key and began punching her in the face and arms. Brown began applying pressure to Robin's left and right carotid arteries, causing her to be unable to breathe. She began to lose consciousness. She reached up with her left hand and began attempting to gouge his eyes in attempts to flee herself. Brown bit her left ring and middle fingers and released her. While Brown continued to punch her, she turned around and placed her back against the passenger door. She brought her knees to her chest and placed her body against Brown's body and began pushing him away. Brown continued to punch her on legs and feet, causing several contusions. Robin began screaming for help, and Brown exited the vehicle and walked away. A resident in the neighbour heard Robin's plea for help and called 911, causing a police response. An investigation was conducted and Robin was issued a DVO protective order. Now, I was fighting back tears reading that. That is truly a horrific story. I just can't believe that Rihanna went through, or any woman has to go through anything like that. She's a beautiful and inspiring person. Her story, think of it as something that is beautiful and inspiring, but don't think we need to go to those levels of success though, to become one of the highest selling artists of all time to prove our worth or anything like that. More think along the lines of a woman who's experienced, like a woman who has experienced childhood abuse that's changed her brain in a negative way, which exposed her to a severe domestic violence experience, but she came out of all of it to have a healthy relationship with A$AP Rocky today and to find success in her passions, a healthy relationship with others, with yourself, and belief in yourself and belief in your passions. This is something that we can all strive for, no matter what our setbacks may have been in life. Don't let it define who you are today. Rihanna still does need to be in a constant state of challenge, or what some might call an element of stress, or tapping into the fight or flight mode to an extent. And this is evidenced by her statement regarding her dislike for smooth sailing. She's basically said that that's the sick part. I just love a challenge, whether it's a relationship, my career, clothing. But my point is that sometimes we can harness that nervous energy that many of us have, turn it into a challenge, turn it into excitement. Excitement and anxiety are just two different sides of the same coin. But it's up to you to decide if it's going to be heads or tails. So that's my quote for you today that I've ripped off my Instagram at Helping Minds Online. Thank you for tuning in today, as always, and I hope that you have a great day, and do not forget to subscribe. Thank you.